السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله الذي لا إله سواه، والحمد لله، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أشرف خلقه وأشرف عباده وأكرمهم، وعلى آله الطاهرين وأصحابه الميامين والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اجعلنا منهم. اللهم تقبل منا صيامنا وقيامنا وصلاتنا. اللهم افتح مسامع قلوبنا لذكرك. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى من العمل الصالح. اللهم اربط على قلوبنا واجمع قلوبنا على محبتك وطاعتك وحسن اتباع في ذلك سيدنا مولانا محمد نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. Do you remember what we mentioned last night? You do remember that. Don't forget. What are things that contribute to making the heart hard and sick? Sins. Examples of that you mentioned last night? Laughing excessively, talking excessively, and eating excessively as well. We mentioned that, and those are examples of dhunub, but there are much worse dhunub and major dhunub, wal-'iyadhu billah, and of what also contributes to making our hearts sick and ill. Dhunub, and what's the other one? We mentioned dhunub is sins. Commission of dhunub and another thing. Two compartments. Now that those examples of dhunub, and those are minor dhunub. Dhunub, and what else? That contributes to the shubha and shahwa are the sources of fitna to the heart. And the heart may fall. But that which contributes to making our hearts sick, dhunub, we mentioned two things also. And ghafla. Ghafla. What is ghafla? Not being in a mode of dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-ghaflatu an dhikrillah azza wa jal. Al-dhikru aksul ghafla. To remember is the opposite of to forget and to be distracted. So when our hearts and we are in ghafla, away from the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal in one form or the other, especially with our qulub, that's a source of hardening the hearts. That's why, as you know, and you should know by now, that the cure that Allah Azza wa Jal mentions in the Quran and Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam emphasizes the cure for the diseased hearts is lot of dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the opposite of ghafla. The opposite of ghafla. Aynam. So we are emphasizing these things. And I want to keep always emphasizing it, and believe me, the summary of my life now for many, many decades, focus on your qalb. That is the source of every good or of every evil. At any level, at the mundane level or the religious level, the mundane level, economic, financial, family, social, political, whatever you're doing and whatever activities, if the qalb is not in the right mode, the consequences are bad in life. Don't ever forget, and many of us forget our qulub, and we are very superficial. Let's rectify that and correct that. Al-Imam Ahmad related, rahimahullah ta'ala, that one of the greatest companions, and you know, of course, Sayyiduna Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, "Inna Allah ta'ala nazara fi qulub al-ibad." Inna Allah ta'ala nazara fi qulub al-ibad. Verily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looked into the hearts of His ibad, of all the human beings. فوجد قلب محمد قلب سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم خير القلوب فاصطفاه لنفسه. الله أكبر. فاصطفاه لنفسه وابتعثه برسالته. Allah Azza wa Jal, when He looked into the hearts of all human beings, He said, He found the heart of one man. He found that heart the most beautiful of hearts, the best of hearts, the most virtuous and meritorious and most beautiful of hearts, the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And therefore, اصطفاه لنفسه. He specifically kept him for himself. That's mine. اصطفاه. He elected him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for himself. He selected him, elected him, chose him, picked him, kept him for himself. And consequently, He made him the bearer of His message to the world. نظر. The point is القلب. نظر في قلوب العباد. Allah Azza wa Jal looks at the hearts of His creatures. Not only what we are externally. Forget about the way we look physically. Forget about that. That doesn't count at all. But I'm meaning by externally, that is the way we speak and the way we act externally, which might be terrible or might be externally beautiful. But that's not it. If it is externally beautiful, it is not necessarily beautiful with Allah until the heart is beautiful along with that deed. هكذا يصطفي الله سبحانه وتعالى من عباده. This is how Allah elects and selects and chooses for the special gifts of His ibad. And then he continued رضي الله تعالى and did mention ثم نظر في قلوب العباد بعد محمد سيدنا صلى الله عليه وسلم فوجد قلوب أصحابه خير القلوب فجعلهم وزراء له. فجعلهم وزراء له. And then set aside the heart, the qalb of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He looked into the heart of the remaining ibad and he found that the hearts of his companions, which became later companions, were the most beautiful hearts. So he selected them to be his companions and his ministers and his representatives. رضي الله تعالى عنهم وأرضاه. اللهم طهر قلوبنا. اللهم طهر قلوبنا. Therefore, my beloved brothers and sisters, implore Allah to help us as we strive always uncover what we are inside and discover what we are inside. Most of the time we don't do that. May Allah help us. One of those beautiful companions, one of those hearts, came once to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as Imam Ahmad and many other ulama also relate in hadith. He came to him sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, inna idha ra'aynaka raqqat qulubuna wa kunna min ahli al-akhirah. He said to him, Ya Rasulullah, when we see you, our hearts soften. Our hearts become gentle, become transparent, become sensitive and sensible and kind. رَقَّتْ قُلُوبُنَا. And we feel like we are of the people of Akhirah. We feel like we are in the hereafter. Subhanallah. And then he continues to say, first of all, notice the very presence of Rasulullah. For those who are companions, whom Allah guided their hearts, to see him changes you. To see him, to observe him, just to look at him, enriches you. Makes you wealthier spiritually and more beautiful. That's why the best of all human beings after the Anbiya are whom? Because they were with him, they believed in him, and they were with him and they saw him. The worst of the companions, it is said, the worst now is relative. And they say, you know who the worst of the companions is? Who knows what's the worst of the companions? Don't guess if you don't know. Don't make a terrible mistake. Don't unleash your tongue. If you don't know, say, I don't know. I'm asking you just to quiz you. We don't know. من قال لا أدري علمه الله ما لا يدري. The one who says, I don't know, Allah will teach him that which he doesn't know. You know Wahshi? You know Wahshi? Who is Wahshi? The one who killed Sayyidina Hamza ibn Abd al-Muttalib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And you know what happened, and the awesome crime he committed. And later he became a Muslim. And he came to Rasulullah as a Muslim. And Rasulullah in the beginning could not look at him. But this is beyond that. And then he accepted him. They say, this is the one. He is better than the best of those who came after until the end of times. To the extent that the ulama, awliya say, he is better than the greatest of the tabi'een. And who is the greatest of the tabi'een? This is also by text in the hadith. خير التابعين said Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. خير التابعين Uwais al-Qarani. He never met him. That's his prophecy sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As you know, it's from Yemen. And he spoke of him that he will come, you will know him, etc. Uwais al-Qarani. Scholars, and especially the scholars with ilm and heart, they have said Wahshi is better than Uwais with Allah Azza wa Jal. Because of the companionship of Rasulullah. Because he was a sahib. A sahib. He had the suhbah of Rasulullah. He saw him. He believed in him. He saw him. He was with him. So this companion says, Ya Rasulullah, when we see you, our hearts, رقت قلوبنا. Our hearts become soft and sensitive and gentle and beautiful. وكنا من أهل الآخرة. And we feel we belong already to Akhirah. And then he says, وَإِذَا فَارَقْنَاكَ أَعْجَبَتْنَا الدُّنْيَا. And then when we part away from you, dunya attracts us. Dunya attracts us. The goods of this world, dunya attracts us. Now continue the saying. Now these companions, this companion and these companions that he represents, when he said dunya, أعجبتنا الدنيا, we were attracted to dunya, what does he mean? Doesn't mean commit haram or this or that. In other words, we go back to the regular lawful dunya. Because he said, after that, أعجبتنا الدنيا وشممنا النساء والأولاد. شممنا النساء والأولاد. Then we go back to our wives and our children, and we smell their scents. This is dunya. That's why they were chosen. That's why their qulub were chosen. It's not like commit adultery or steal or lie or backbite or compete for leadership or be glutton. No, he says the dunya we go back to is our wives and our children. We smell their scent. And we feel good with them, which is not haram, which is not even makruh. As long as it is done in balanced, moderate ways. وإذا فارقناك أعجبتنا الدنيا شممنا النساء والأولاد. Subhanallah. The presence of Rasulullah, and look at these hearts, what they were like. And then he continues, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to say to him, who replied to him, لو كنتم على كل حال على الحال التي أنتم عليها عندي لصافحتكم الملائكة بأكفهم ولزارتكم في بيوتكم. End of quote. Allahu Akbar. Then he says to the companion, to the companions even, if in every case, in every hal, in every situation you are, in every inside condition you are, in all conditions, you are in the same condition when you are with me, if you remain like that, if you're like that under all circumstances, like when you are with me, Allahu Akbar, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now guess what? There are some people who strive in their ibadah, in their dhikr, in monitoring their hearts, in controlling their words and their habits and so on. They like to continue always in their hearts feeling like they are in the presence of Rasulullah. And some Allah gives them gifts. He says, what are those gifts? لَصَافَحَتْكُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ بِأَكُفِّهِمْ. The angels will actually manifest and expose them to you and even shake your hands with their hands. And they will come visit you in your homes. And they will visit you in your homes. By the way, some of the companions had that experience. The malaika visited them in their homes and appeared to them and made dhikr around them. Subhanallah, these are of course karamat. The point here is that if your hearts are in that condition where they would be when you see me. Of course, a munafiq may see Rasulullah, but sees what? وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. A kafir, a murtad, a mushrik sees Rasulullah, but sees what? Because the qalb is not in the right condition and in the right frequency. But when the qalb in tawheed, sincere tawheed, experiences Rasulullah, sees Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that person changes and is elevated higher and higher in degrees of spiritual awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and of gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why he said on another occasion sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لولا في رواية لولا تزيدكم في الحديث لولا تزيدكم في الحديث لسمعتم ما أسمع لسمعتم ما أسمع. أي نعم. وفي رواية ولولا تغمير قلوبكم لسمعتم ما أسمع. أي نعم. If it were not that you speak excessively in your talk, you would be able to hear what I hear. And in the other way, the meaning of it, and were it not that you allowed your hearts to be mixed, like physically, meaning you allow your heart to be mixed in mud and in dust. You stain that. In other words, if you were of those who did not allow your hearts to be concerned with other things and with trash and garbage, spiritual and moral trash and garbage, etc., you will be able to hear what I hear. Subhanallah. Qulub. And what we do to our hearts. I ask you a question now, and then I'm going to mention the third hadith after that. What is, you think, the most valuable thing to save and to treasure? ما هو خير ما اكتنز الناس? What is the best and the most valuable thing that people may save and treasure? Iman. For sure it is. For sure it is. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered in this way, and that will lead us to some practicality. He said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, qalbun shakir. Three things. He mentioned three. Qalbun shakir. A grateful heart. A grateful heart. Thankful heart. A content, grateful heart. I don't think I need any comment. Grateful heart. Heart is the seat of emotions, is the seat of cognition, is the seat of irada, of volition. So all what stirs inside that makes us even think one way or the other. When the qalb, in its emotions, in its attachments, in its feelings, has the energy of being grateful and thankful to Allah and to the creatures of Allah Azza wa Jal consequently. Number one. Number two, qalbun shakirun. And number two, there you go. See, he understands silent language. لسان ذاكر. قلب شاكر ولسان ذاكر. And a tongue that is always in dhikr of Allah. لسان ذاكر. These are the two of three most valuable thing you can possess, own, save and treasure even. Treasure and store. What's the third one? For man, زوجة صالحة تعينك على أمر دينك ودنياك خير ما اكتنز الناس, said he sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And a righteous wife. A righteous wife. Underline righteous. He didn't say something else. Righteous wife. Righteous wife is a beautiful wife of heart. Is a beautiful wife of heart. Beautiful character, beautiful sifat of heart. that or who would help you in your matters of deen and dunya. She's a support to you, not a hindrance, not an obstacle, not a wall, not a dam in your seeking of Allah Azza wa Jal. And in the matters of your world, of your dunya, that are legitimate and good. A wife like that is a treasure to be treasured, and to be beheld, and to be saved, and to be protected, and to be stored. And similarly, a wife who is a righteous wife and who has a righteous husband, obviously would help her. This is by extension, this is by analogy, by qiyas, who would help her for her matters of her deen and of her dunya. خَيْرُ مَكْتَنَزَ النَّاسِ. Note, my dear brothers and sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us hearts that are always grateful to Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala change our conditions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us of those who are always with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with our hearts, so that we would be always in the company of the angels. And maybe one day, one of those angels comes to your house to visit you and says, Salaamu alaykum ya fulan. When that happens, and if that happens, keep it to yourself. And be grateful to Allah Azza wa Jal. And a lot more ibadah and a lot more shukr for Allah Azza wa Jal. لأن الله سبحانه وتعالى لطيف بعباده يرزق من يشاء وهو القوي العزيز. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك. I feel I have to make a correction. Do you know what it is? Well, you didn't feel it when I said the worst of companions. It's not, may Allah forgive me, because I didn't mean it that way. Don't copy that, please. It should be perhaps the least in rank amongst the companions. The least in rank amongst the companions, rather than astaghfirullah wa hasha, the worst. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.